want him to lay it off too soon. We want him to run with the ball and run at goal and score the goals. So poacher isn't suitable. As far as we can tell, we want to possibly tone down the creative side of the advanced forward role because Martial is not suitable. You notice as well, I haven't included Wayne Rooney in the match day squad because if you look at him, he's a deep line forward, or an attack, maybe an attacking midfielder. And you could argue as well that he could be used for a centre midfield attack role. A little bit unconventional. He's not ideal in that position. Competent, it says, but he has actually got quite good attributes for that. He's got the finishing off the ball, the work rate, the teamwork, the passing. But his PPIs don't encourage that too much. Come deep to get the ball. That's more like a deep line playmaker. But his defending attributes aren't very good compared to Schweinsteiger. So he's more of a he is much better as a attacking midfielder or a deep line forward. He's got the balance and the strength to hold up the ball, but he's not suitable for counter-attacking football. So he has no place in my squad. I will play him, and I mean, as you've seen here, I have played him. He scored a fair few goals. But that was when I was playing attacking football, when a deep line forward is really important. But you don't use a deep line forward when you're playing counter-attacking. You want your forward to be, the off-the-shoulder type that just, breaks the offside trap and causes havoc. So I think that's covered it, really. And now we're going to go and have a look at the match, I suppose. Well, the time is ready to play the match. So, and I believe I've got my set pieces set up correctly. That's actually another thing that you should look at before we go to the match. Let's look at that. You do want someone. The main thing is you want fast players up front. You want one player to be there to receive the ball and start counter-attacking. You want one player to supply him, and preferably this is another fast player because then he could potentially run with the ball and then drag defenders towards him and then hit the ball to the left flank. So say Valencia comes out here, he runs to the right, defenders come towards him, all this acres of space over here, and then he pings it to the other flank, and then Depay scores. Do I want two up front? I think you can argue for having two up front, and that would be make our counters from corners really potent. And I mean, if you look at Martial, it's like he's almost not. It's probably better he doesn't even go there. Look at Martial, right? 4 marking, 6 positioning, 3 tackling. He's a terrible defender. Even 10 concentration is kind of low. He's got 8 bravery as well. He's not a defender at all, and that makes him even more suitable, really, for the counter-attacking football because he's more streamlined to attack, which is what you want in a shape that is structured. Whereas when you have a fluid shape, you want players that can do all sorts of different things. That haven't got such a streamlined distribution of stats. So maybe we'll go with that, and then we'll see how we get on. It's a bit risky. Alternatively, we could use Valencia. So let's switch out Valencia and see what his attributes are like. So he's got good strength. He's not got very good jumping or heading. His positioning is better. His bravery is better. His concentration is better. he is a better defender, a much better defender than Martial, so he could be suitable. And given the situation in this match, we do want someone to. We don't want to be, you know. I mean, one, it is good to try and end it like as quickly as possible, the match, and you know, have the game won before it's over. We don't want to give anything away, and having two up front, you know, it could possibly leave us undermanned. So I'm going to go with that. I'm going to put Valencia back here, and we're going to do the same for. We're going to do the same for. Just look at. I don't think Depay is any good at defending either. Just make sure. No, he's terrible at defending as well. Although he's got much better jumping reach and bravery, and good strength. So he has got some. You know, he has got some strength in the box. So potentially we could use him. He might even be a better choice than Valencia, even though his positioning and stuff is bad. Right, so tactics and corners. And do we want the way that it sets up here, do we want our left AML to be on the right side of the pitch? Do we want him to be on the left side of the pitch? And I don't like this part of the tactics creator, the set piece wizard. It doesn't let you customize where your forward goes when they're up front, and it hasn't done in the past 4 editions, and I don't know why, but it's awful. Like, I'd like to have my I'd like to be able to just put Memphis Depay or whoever's my AML like right over here on this little corner over here, and then he can just stretch the pitch, stretch the defenders, and then there's so much space on the other side of the pitch. If he's just central, which he will be, or slightly to the right here, he's not as effective, especially because he's right-footed. So we need him to come over here and then come inside. When he's down here, he's more of a winger, and then he's crossing. I don't want him to cross, but I don't have a choice. So that's a shame. So really, maybe it'd be better if we used on the when they do the corners from the right, the opposition might be better for them to use Martial up front and Depay to go back, and then we'll have Valencia be a winger while and support the striker. Do a cross and then the striker scores. Yeah, that sounds quite good. In terms of attacking, I think we do more or less have it right. I mean, you can. I'm not really a genius on attacking corners, and I don't tend to score a lot from corners. But I think this is generally the right sort of idea. I don't think that's right, though. I don't think that the defensive midfielder should be there. That's not right. We need to have him back here for now. And then typically, I think you have the striker challenge the keeper. Yeah, that's about right. And we don't want them to counter attack against us. So having 3 back is really safe. Normally, you just have your fullback and your 2 fullbacks back, because they're not good in the air and they're not good at finishing. So that's and they're really good at being fast and defending. That's why you want them back there. So let's make sure that's right on the right hand side as well. Defensive midfielder back, and striker challenging the keeper. And typically you'll see a striker being asked to challenge the keeper in real life. I don't think, as for like keep the deliveries varied, I don't know what sort of delivery. Like I really don't know what's the best, but we've got a near post header guy, so how will that interact if we go near post? Yeah, well, that seems to interact really well with attacks near post, which we want Chris Smalling to do. But the flight of the ball is not great. Depends who we use. When you want to do it in swinging corner, I think, because they're easier to score from when you're attacking the near post. Yeah. Okay, so we need a right footer to do the corners. Who's my set piece taker? Right corners. Who's best at corners? Wayne Rooney. He's not playing. Juan Mata. He's left-footed, so it'll be a out-swinging corner. We don't want that. Who else is playing? Oh, we can't have Bastian Schweinsteiger do it. Memphis Depay's right-footed, but he's a good presence in the box. But who else have we got? Sure, no, we want them to stay back. So, no. So I think we're going to use. We'll use Memphis Depay on the right because he's right foot. Because we want an in-swinging corner, not out-swinging. And then we want on the left side in-swinging corner. So we'll use the best corner taker we've got, which is Mata. I think that's set up correctly. We'll make sure we've got the right free kick set up as well. Making sure that we've got a forward ready to pounce on the counter attack. We've got our midfield and forwards in a wall here. I do think with our shape, it's possibly better to have Depay in the wall because we want our players to be, fulfilling their roles and doing nothing else. So when we ask Depay to be up front, what he'll tend to do is slow down because it's going too far forward too quickly. It's not part of his role, and so he'll try and stick to his role, and we don't want that. We want him to we want our forward on the counter attack to do his job, and I think striker in that is the right choice there. Perhaps I could go back to the corners and have a look at that again. To follow those sort of sentiments. So we'll stick the striker up front and put the AML in the wall. And I think you could argue for maybe having one of the wall go back, but I think a 3-man wall is kind of small for sure. You do want 4 people in a wall, I think. But we can adjust it during the game. Yeah, we have that right, and then go back to corners. Make sure on the defense side. Yeah, let's change that around because we want the striker up front, and we're asking Anthony Martial to be the supplier of the to begin the transition. I don't think we want that. You could argue for Schweinsteiger to be here. Because it would accord with his role, and then we could have 2 players up front. But we're trying to be conservative for this match. So we have that right on that side. So let's check on that side. Striker up front, AMR, Valencia on there. And did we? Yeah, Valencia in defence there. So I think our wide attackers are both decent at going back and defending corners. So I'm pretty happy with that. Just make sure that Martial doesn't. So I think that's it set up now. So we should begin our match. I'm not too mindful of the time that these videos are taking either. So if a video doesn't last very long or it goes on for very long, then apologies. I know every video should be about half an hour, except the first one because it's screwed up. Right, so there. The scout is saying that Les Kershaw saying that they're going to set up like this. They didn't play Ibrahimovic last time though, so and you'll notice as well they're probably going for an attacking strategy, which makes Ibrahimovic perfect for the role that they're going for. Ibrahimovic is great on FM. He's got almost perfect attributes for what they need him to do, and I'm actually going to sign him in the January window because he's just too good. If we can afford his wages, that is. I had him on a Real Madrid save, and he was just incredible. And he lasts 2 seasons, and his pace and acceleration only go down to 9 after 2 seasons. So when he's 36, he's still perfectly good for for a supporting sort of a striker role that comes deep, doesn't rely on pace. Anyway, I'll stop masturbating now. So we've basically set up pretty much perfectly for what they're planning. So I feel really good and confident about our strategy here. And we'll just have a quick look at our morale, because that is important as well. We've got decent morale in our squad right now, so I'm a little bit concerned about Valencia, and he could be a little bit problematic when it comes to transitioning and stuff because his technical ability is pretty low. We're just relying on his physicals, and he's just, although Ashley Young is a more technically gifted player, he's just slower. 15 and 16 versus 17 and 16. That 17 versus 15 could be the edge that we're looking for. And I think he worked harder than Ashley Young as well. A little bit harder, yeah. Although, how has Antonio Valencia performed? He's not. We can actually check how he's performed in the roles that we've used him in. He's not performed very well in AMR. So I do want to use him, but maybe we should use Ashley Young. And Ashley Young has got better. Ashley Young has got better morale as well, so that's important. Although he is more tired, I think. And I don't want him to cut inside. Place shots, no. I don't like his PPMs. He's not got good PPMs for what I want him to do. And the thing about Ashley Young is they're saying he should be an inside forward, and that's probably what he was in his career. I don't really know too much about him, but he hasn't got the pace or the technical ability to be a really effective inside forward. He's pretty mediocre for the Premier League, I think anyway. So we'll not use him. We'll use Valencia and see how we get on. And if that doesn't work very well, we'll bang on possibly Ashley Young, or we could bang on even Mitchell or Rashford, who don't have very good crossing. Neither of them had very good crossing. I was really thinking use them for one for the striker, one for the AML position, and then use Ashley Young for the AMR position. Valencia can come back and replace Darmian, or Varela can come on. Fellaini, I'm going to use him in the centre positions. He basically can cover for Schweinsteiger, or I can slot in Schneiderlin into Schweinsteiger's role if Schweinsteiger goes off, and Ander Herrera can come on and be the centre attacking mid. So let's begin without further ado and see whether the teacher is right or whether he's wrong. Whether I've been talking bollocks or not. Let's start, shall we? and I'll no, I'm not going to save Skull. No, I'm not going to save Skull. 2 and 34. Why not? I didn't choose very good numbers this season. Your team selection today suggests a change of tactic might be on the cards. What's the thinking behind that? That's very well perceived rather. I've picked a team, a tactical style that gives us the best chance of winning. I wonder what this sort of impact this has on me, on my team. Paris Saint-Germain are a good team and have the ability to threat us in multiple ways, so we worked on countering their threats. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to say. How much a boost is Kazawa's? I'm going to say it's unfair to single out individuals. That's the most professional thing to do. I noticed that your professionalism and your manager's personality changes depending on what you say in the media. So that's something to be mindful of. You want to have a professional manager character, because then you're more likely to bring through regens into your youth ranks that have got professional personality, which increases their chances of rapid development. It would be sensible to go in hard but fair on Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Well, I can certainly agree with that. But why am I asking for tactical advice from Mark Holmes? Let's go back and have a look at who's the best guy for tactical advice, because I don't even know. Because I know it's not Ryan Giggs, who's my assistant manager. I just kept Giggs on because he's, you know, an icon at the club, and he's got a lot of potential to develop as a coach. So coaching team, and we want to go to mental attributes, and we want to go to tactical knowledge. Bernard Peters, Jaap Stam, Montanaro. Well, since Jaap Stam used to play for us, we'll ask Jaap Stam. I think match. Where is he? Stam. Jaap Stam. Yeah. Well, apply advice. Normally I don't use these, and I actually usually turn. You know, if I click apply advice, I'll like delete a lot of this shit. I don't want to always close it. No. It's just senseless. Like, they automatically, oh no. Like, clear. Let's just click here, clear, and then just make sure that we fucking hard tackle Zlatan Ibrahimovic. And other than that, I think we do want a tight mark him as well. Put him out of the game. Make it really difficult for him, because he's gonna be their main threat. I think. Obviously, Di Maria is phenomenal. I can't think why they got rid of him at Man United. He's just great. And there's Cavani as well. So they've got very good force up front. But I think their main threat will be Ibrahimovic, and we need to make sure we need to just make sure we pay special attention to him. Other than that, I think we can see how the match goes on. Team talk. What do I want to say? I don't want to put too much pressure on them. Pick up where you left off. He's saying pick up where you left off. What does Jaap Stam say? Prove a point. Do I want to put a lot of pressure on? The thing is about, you know, well, let's go back and have a look. Match analysis. What are our odds? PSG are favourites. I don't want to put pressure on my team when we're not the favourites. So you've got to factor that in. So we need to say something about no pressure, I think. Good luck out there. We're going to need it. Since we are, how bad a favourite? 6-4, 13-8. It's like 1.5 to 1 versus, what is that? Slightly worse than 1.5 to 1. So more like 1.7 to 1 for United to win. Okay, so we're not like massive underdogs actually. So maybe the pressure thing's, that's wrong. Nobody expects us to go out there and get a result. I don't think that's true. Like, people do think that there's a good chance. But we don't want to put too much pressure on. What are we going to say? Go out there and impress me. We've been on a good run. But I've said that a lot lately. It is a cup game, and give the fans a performance to cheer for is something that's really effective in cup games. I think we're going to say that. No, it wasn't effective at all. Well, let's just say we have faith and boost that morale. This is just the tried and tested method of just getting the morale up to good. And make sure that we've got should we have the full match on? No, let's just have comprehensive on because we don't want to bore ourselves to tears. And we'll be able to showcase a lot of our tactic. Sideline. This is quite a good view to have if you want to look at your tactics. You can use vertical scrolling or 2D, but this sideline's quite good. It's like you're watching it on a TV camera, but it's not like Director. Director's really bad for analysing matches. Okay, without further ado, let's get the show on the road, and let's turn down the match speed a bit so we can take full stock of our of what our players are doing. Okay. Try and pay. Wow. We did say we were going to possibly look at the fullback roles and see how that interacts with the transitions. But you can see right now we're defending well. That's what we want. I mean, if we just get a draw, then we're going to be happy with this result. And a goalless draw will be great. Because I'd rather not concede. Oh, that's interesting. Look at that! Look at that quick transition from Valencia. Look at that space we were talking about on the left-hand side. But he was tackled. Pretty much ignore attacking free kicks as part of the tactic because it's not really integral to what we're talking about. I mean, it's the same whether you're attacking or counter-attacking. Our defender's doing a great job again. You see that? That was great. That was great counter-attacking play there. We had a first good chance there. Although I want to go back and look at that quickly because I'm noticing that my players aren't really. What was the situation in which that came to fruition? So he's like really far apart. He's super far apart from